Yeah, well, it's Monday again, so it's Mobile Monday, and in line with what we've been doing over the last few weeks, we do another radio which uses this same kind of shape. So far, we've done we did the PNI one last week, which had an atrocious software or firmware defect, so serious that it isn't actually UK legal. Anyway, it worked well enough apart from that, but that really needs sorting out. Now, the one we did the week before was the Team MX10, and that was clearly a previous version to the PNI one. The PNI one was a later one. So let's see what the Thunderpole T2000 is. Cigarette lighter power lead, the same kind of, can't get into this, same kind of mic, at least it's got a plug on the end and not, it's a reasonable shape, a little bit light, 6-pin plug on the end. Destruction book, and a radio. See what that says. "232 is quite a low serial number. It's 12 or 24 volts. The PNI one was didn't say, it said it was 12 volts on the box, and then it said it was 12 24 volts on the radio, so must have been a bit of an alteration. But I couldn't recommend the PNI one because of the serious software problem. It was alright if you stuck to one channel, but once you started doing anything, it went haywire. Right. So we're supposed to be having 0.5 for, well, 0.25 for microvolts, but it doesn't say for how many decibel cyanide, so that can mean absolutely anything. It can mean we can hear it. Okay, so I'm quite keen to open this up and see if it's the same as the Team one, or whether it's the same as the PNI one. Does it have any adjustments? Doesn't it have any adjustments? Okay, so it's more like the PNI one. We haven't got the read relay, which we had in the PNI one. Instead, we've got a conventional looking relay, which may be a read relay, but in a different kind of encapsulation. see if there's any internal adjustments. So we've got what they call FM mod, which is deviation, and that's the AM modulation, and we've got a couple in that corner. So yeah, it's the same as the PNI, but I just hope that the firmware hasn't got the defects that the PNI one had. I'm sure Thunderpole will have done a lot more checks. It's funny because the PNI cheap mobiles are really good, so it's disappointing when they're more expensive one. I couldn't recommend to my worst enemy. So it's a detachable power lead, which is always nice. Plug in the extension speaker. Switch the power supply on and make sure it's 13.8 volts. It is. Switch the radio on. Oops, not that switch. That switch. Interesting. Comes on UK, which is exactly what we want. So that's must be something that they've asked it to be sent out, because that's definitely a sealed box. So mode. Let's see what happens. EC. UK, EC. What happens if we put it a long press? Okay. Right. Well, I'll just get the signal generator on, and we'll just see what the sensitivity is as it's being presented to us. Not that there's anything we can do about it if it isn't any good. So I'll just pause the video while I set that up. Okay, after a quick check, it doesn't have the serious software defect that the PNI version has, so that's a relief. So we're gonna just gonna look at this Synad situation first. I don't know why I'm doing it this way around. I don't normally, but we will do. And let's see what we've got. So for 12 decibel Synad on channel 20, UK channel, we've got 0.5 of a microvolt. Okay, we'll come back to that. So I'll turn the volume down and we'll just look at the transmit. Okay, so on transmit, I'm on the 3 watt range. Just quickly key it up. Full scale deflection, so it's 3 watts. So we'll go on to the 30 watt range, and it's 3 watts. That's what it's doing. This relay is noisier than the reed relay in the other two versions. It amazes me that we've still got relays in radios 20 years, 40 years on. There weren't many in 1981 that had got relays, let alone, I just don't expect it now. I don't know what that's about because they're inherently unreliable. So, let's see whether we can adjust this. Now there were 2 presets, and kind of between the two we managed to get 4 watts on the PNI version. So on that first one, can't actually get the normal tool in. Let's see if we can get the ceramic one in. Yeah. So that brings us up to 3.5 watts. I don't know why we have to do 2, but it's capable of 4.6 on our scale. So there we have it at 4. So if we just move across to the frequency display, it should be 27.79125, 27.79131, and I can't see if that's adjustable. I doubt it is, unless there's some hidden software menu somewhere, but it's spot on. And although I don't like it not to be adjustable, when I consider some of the other radios that aren't adjustable, like the Uniden series from 1981, and I've only changed a couple of crystals in 39 years on those, so I can't really moan. So let's look at deviation. Wallow. Actually looks to be right. Wallow. If anything, it's too high. Wallow. Yeah, I've just turned it down a fraction. It was I wanted it to be 2.2 with an absolute maximum of 2.5, and it was I've got the blooming thing on the wrong one. Just do that again for you. Wallow. So we've got it on 2.2 with a maximum there of 2.5, which is what we want. So a little bit high, it was about 2.8. So these have been adjusted to suit the UK, which is excellent. I wonder if Thunderpole unboxed them here and improved them, so to speak, because that would have worked fine here. So that covers the transmit. There's nothing more I can enlighten you on. Obviously this radio is capable of going onto the EU set of channels. Pressing the mode switch does just that, but it doesn't go onto the AM set within the EU channels unless we reprogrammed it to do that. And seeing as we're not interested in AM, that's it. All our customers only use the UK set of 40 channels, so that's why we are optimized on that. I don't know about where you live, but where I am here, there's S5 of foreign interference nearly all the time, and whenever we've done on the air tests with Mr. Chippy in the car on EU only sets, the PR2797 sets, no, PR27GB sets, we really do struggle beyond 2.5 to 3 miles because of that foreign interference and constantly trying to find a clear channel. So it's quite annoying. And the customers around here, you can't have farmers faffing about. They want to talk to their mate in the next field. They don't want to talk to somebody in another country. So I know there's different aspects of the hobby, and DXing isn't something that interests our customers or ourselves. What I like is constant 35-mile range, and that's what we achieve from here. So that's a transmit. I'm happy that's how it is. Let's go and look at receive. Well, we just had a preview of that, and I'll go back to the cyanide meter to make sure we're still on frequency. I'll just pop the camera onto the cyanide meter. So we've done the 12 decibel one. Let's have a look at the 20. And it is 1.4 microvolts for 20 decibel cyanide. And finally, the 10 decibel one is 0.39 microvolts for 10 decibel cyanide. So that's fine. But I made sure the RF gain was at full. We'll look at the Squelch next. It's got memories, it tells you how to program those memories. The instruction book is readily downloadable. It's got scan. It's got dual watch. So with the radio on, if we were going to reprogram it for another region, with the it'd be probably the same as the one we did last week, the PNI one. So repressing F and memory at the same time. So it's the bottom two, switching it on, and that didn't work for us. Let's check once again. Yes, it wasn't obvious. So we can go through all those, but we won't. We'll carry on with UK. Switch it off, switch it back on, and there we are. Right, we'll check the Squelch out. So I'll put the camera onto the attenuator controls. Just like that. So I'm going to switch the signal generator to 0.3 of a microvolt and switch it off. So we're off. So we're on channel 20 on the radio. And I'm going to set the Squelch to threshold. Switch the signal generator on, and it's straight in at 0.3 of a microvolt, and that's excellent. It disappears off at 0.25 of a microvolt. It's not quite in at 0.3. It's changed scales. It comes in at 0.4. So that's fine, no problem at all with that. So let's move the Squelch to the top of the shop, as they say, and we'll now select hopefully 100 microvolts. I'd like it to come in at 100 microvolts. So we've got 3 microvolts, 10 microvolts, 30 microvolts, 100 microvolts. That should also show S9 on the display, and it doesn't. So it's a bit under on the S meter, but it means nothing anyway. So the Squelch comes in at the top of the shop at 3 millivolts, which is a bit too high. So apart from the lying meter and the Squelch being a bit harsh, it's certainly fine at the bottom end, which is the important end for you to track your copy around those corners and in the hills like Scratchy Corner we have here. So we'll go to Auto Squelch. I'll switch the signal generator off again, select Auto Squelch, and we'll see how that performs. So signal generator on, 1 microvolt, 3 microvolts, it's in. So let's get a fine tune on that. It's coming in at 0.55 of a microvolt, and it's disappearing off at 0.35 of a microvolt. So that's set fine, no problem at all. I'll just have a look at the instructions. It may be possible that, I'll just turn the volume down as well, it may be possible that the Auto Squelch is adjustable because it is on some. No, it doesn't say anything about that. So all the little foibles of the PNI ones, some of which were not even legal, aren't there on this. It's absolutely fine. And after the adjustment of the transmit power, it was absolutely spot on. So this is the best so far of this series, to be quite honest. Now there was one little anomaly which was pointed out to me, that if you went from UK to CPT band whilst monitoring as we are doing, then receive didn't change. Let's see what happens. No, it's not a problem. So I'll just press transmit. Yeah, 27205. UK, back to receive. EC. No, it's spot on, I can't fault it. So although I don't like the fact we can't do fine adjustments with the meter, I don't know whether this is a real RF meter, relative RF meter, or not. I'll tell you what, I'll turn the power down on the radio. So at the moment, as you know, we're at 4 watts. So I'll just put my trimming tool in the power adjust. And let's have a look. So we've got a full set of bars on the display. I'm going to reduce the power. I'm now at 1/2 watt, and it's still showing the full shooting match. So I'll take it back to 4 watts. There we go. And it's just no, so it's a load of bull. That it's just a bar graph, which is a glorified TX light. So I'll just take the signal off. We have the receive light still saying receive, which is fine. I mean, some people mentioned they'd like them to work as a busy light, and some people don't care whether it's green on all the time or what. Change it over to red on transmit. So I'm going to pop it on the aerial now, put the lid back on. So apart from those 3 adjustments, we've got AM mod there, we've got the 2 power controls there, we've got FM deviation there, and I can't fault it. And unlike the PNI set, it's absolutely spot on. And I'm having an avalanche of boxes here. Okay, so we're now on an aerial. So I'll turn auto squelch off. We'll go to manual squelch. Turn the signal generator off, so we're not getting any interference. I'll press scan. We've gone over to radio. It's just coming up to 12 o'clock, and our background music system goes over to radio for the news. So it hasn't picked anything up on that. So I'll just stop that, and then we'll manually see if anyone's out. We're 35 miles from the nearest city, so we're unlikely to hear much. Turning the wrong one there. Well, no, Roger. No, I never get that. Okay, well, we'll do an on-the-air test with Mr. Chippy later on, and I'm sure that that'll work fine. So, out of the 3, this one works as I expect it to work. The PNI was so badly set up in its firmware, it actually rendered it illegal, and the MX10 just wasn't as good, and it's an earlier version of the board. So there you have it, the Thunderpole T2000. Thank you for watching.